With the 20-year lifespan, the solar panels just really aren't up to it, but they are getting better. They now currently decay only a few percent over the course of a year, with about the worst case being 10% in 10 years. As cheaper solar panels are flooding the market from China and elsewhere, many of them have problems with their quality. Some of them can drop off very rapidly. So like any industry experiencing explosive growth, you got to watch out for poor design. So shopping for solar panels takes a lot of pre-education. Solar panels are very heat sensitive. Like all electronics, they don't like being overheated, and you're putting them out in the sun. So they really need to be installed correctly, or they can lose 80% of their output in literally 1 or 2 years if they are allowed to overheat. So getting a quality installer is also really important. What about total cost if we wanted to go completely free of this kind of stuff? We need about 12,000 kilowatt hours a year in Canada. We are the energy gluttons of the world. The Australians, the French, the Japanese, the British, people in Spain, Germany, Italy, all decent countries with very good standards of living, are living on fractions of the energy Canadians do. We need 12,000 kilowatt hours a year in Canada. And the previous panel was 12 kilowatts, 1,200 kilowatt hours in a year. So we would need 12 of the panels from the previous example. At $3,000 each, you're looking at about $36,000 to go off the grid. You're not going to likely to have that money in your bank account, so you're likely to take out a loan. Let's suppose you decide to borrow $40,000 to install solar panel to completely pay for your solar panel installation. You're going to do it at 5% interest rate, and you're going to go for 25 years. You're at $234 a month. In reality, this interest rate could be 7%, and you're unlikely to be able to find financing greater than 15 years for your solar panel. That makes it fairly expensive. If you could succeed in getting a loan at 4%, you're at just under $300 a month in current market. So it looks like for about $300 a month, you could finance a loan for 15 years that would convert your house to 100% solar. Now, this is with you living inside that 12 kilowatt hours. If you stray over it, you're going to be paying. You would be done these payments in 15 years, and you could look forward to another 15 years of free electricity. So it's getting possible to make it worth it in your pocketbook. In other words, able to do the right thing and not go bankrupt doing it. As of 2019 right now, if you are burning the Canadian average for 25 years, that's 12,000 kilowatt hours per year times 13 cents is $1,500.60 per year. Over 25 years, you will be out almost $40,000 in electricity, and that will cost you about $200 a month. Going off grid, if you go with solar cells, you are looking at about $36,000 now. 10 years ago, you could have tacked a zero onto this figure. Current loan rates at about 5%. This means you are going to have payment rates more likely like this, $285 a month versus about $200 a month. You will pay out $51,000. If you could get a 25-year amortization on your solar panels, you could make it cheaper or as cheap as your current electricity. However, this is the downside to the loan. Your final outlay is actually quite a bit more money than this. But that's true of every loan, so it's not really a thing. So this 15-year loan would be quite attractive to me because it means in 15 years, I suddenly now have free electricity for the rest of my life. Canada has one of the cheapest electricity rates in the world. We're down around 10 cents per kilowatt hour. While it is true Ontario is the most expensive in Canada, compared to very good countries to live in elsewhere, our electric rates are terrible. If I were elected Prime Minister, I would probably force our rates to match the Great Britain's. Double them, and then solar panels become a no-brainer. And I would be shot. Politicians don't want to do things that are going to cost them votes. And so the only thing that would really get us off our energy consumption would be to raise the price of electricity to make solar panel worthwhile. In Denmark, you would be a fool not to get solar panels because otherwise the price is too high. The forgotten part is solar thermal. We use only 4% of our household energy is for lighting, which is electric. 20% of our household energy goes to heating water and heating the air. And the solar thermal panel is actually way cheaper than photovoltaics. Like, you could make one on the weekend and it could provide you hot water year round. This is the problem. Lighting, 4%. Your appliances, 14%. Most of you, your fridge, your dryer, and your stove are electric. So we're looking at 18% of your energy bill could be saved with solar. Water heating and space heating, meaning warming your house, 79, 80% of your household energy bill is for heat. So installing photovoltaics would cut down your 18% you spend on electricity, but it wouldn't touch the hot water. How much do we need? You have about 300 liters of water a day per person. Let's suppose we want it all heated up by 80 degrees, not to 80 degrees, by 80 degrees. Then using this formula, we get about 100 million joules a day. We need to collect that inside 12 hours while the sun is up. This means if you could install a heating panel that could pick up 2,300 watts, it would suffice to zero your hot water heating bill, which is more than double what your electricity bill is, basically, in terms of lighting anyway. Leave the lights on, target the hot water. What would that take? We get about 1,000 watts per square meter on the Earth's surface. And solar thermal panels are nearly 70% efficient. That is like 5 times more efficient than the electric panels. So you're going to get 700 watts per square meter versus like 200. But I wouldn't count on more than half of that in Canada. This means about 10 square meters a panel. Like, take half of this, multiply it by 10, and you're going to get a figure like that. About 10 square meters of collector would provide your hot water. My garage roof is 7 meters by 4 meters. That's 30 square meters. If I covered my garage roof in solar thermal panels, lay me out a couple $1,000 tops, maybe 3,000-4,000 if I built it myself, I would have free hot water for the rest of my life. One side of the garage only, not the side facing to the north. But it's Canada. It's pretty windy, so I'd probably get May, June, July, August, September, and into October. And then after that, if there's wind and snow, it's harder to do. But, it's not much to do that.